talking about one of my favorite ingredients here, one of my secret weapons. It's citrus season here. It's the winter. So this is not wild food, but it is very good with wild food, especially greens. This is homemade lemon oil. So this is basically a substitute for Agrumato. And this is the real deal here. I used to keep a jar or two at restaurants I would work at because it is unbelievably potent. It's lemon oil, but it's not infused. The lemons are put whole, and other fruits too, citrus fruits, are put into an olive oil press and pressed to make this incredibly potent oil. So that stuff is really expensive. You could see that like that 16-ounce jar was like $35 to $40. It's crazy expensive because it's crazy potent. But a while ago, I found an old recipe in a book by Lorenza di Medici for making kind of a hack at home. Hopefully not a hack version, hack in a good way. You can see I'm using just peeling lemons here with a Kuhn Racone peeler. I love my Y-shaped peeler, but these are Meyer lemons and regular lemons. You can use either. And regular lemons, try to get organic ones, are perfectly fine. You can see I'm going to use some lemon leaves there from a lemon tree. And we're just going to massage that with the salt. The salt is a preservative. And I'm going to show you another version of doing this too that'll give you a little bit of a stronger result. But this method is so easy. So I'm just going to take some oil. You can use extra virgin, or I typically like to use a blend. I didn't have any on hand for this one that I shot, so I just used sunflower oil, and it was perfectly fine. But if you don't use a colored oil, it's going to not have a really rich, like yellow color to it, like extra virgin will. So I recommend using about half extra virgin. Now, a different way you can do it, this is going to make a slightly stronger infusion, is if you use a microplane grater, because the zest is not going to take up as much area in the jar. So you're just putting the zest in the jar, salting it, adding oil to cover, letting it infuse, and then straining it. Super easy. So this method did give me a little bit of a stronger infusion. It's also a little more cumbersome. The strongest infusion is actually vacuum sealing the oil and the zest. Also, that's a little cumbersome too, so it's totally fine to just use the peels. So whatever way you do, you're just going to cover the zest with oil, let that infuse for a few days. You can taste it during the process. It's totally fine. Then we strain the oil out. I like to wait about a week, and then I'll put it in the fridge. How to use it, so many different ways, sweet or savory, but it's always used raw as a garnish. Grilled meats and seafood are great. Salads, soups are floated in broth, green vegetables, ice cream and desserts, fruit and berries. And if you like balsamic vinegar and olive oil, this is a fantastic version. I'm doing this at a charity dinner. It's black raspberry vinegar sweetened with maple syrup and some of the oil, or you can mix the vinegar and oil and make kind of a broken dressing, which adds a lot of color to a plate. It's great with green vegetables, or you can just take the oil straight up, have a little lemon wedge on the side, and it's a great garnish for grilled meat, especially beef, but also chicken, also pork, so many things. Or another thing I had that was super simple was just some warm olives, a little wild fennel seed, and some bird beak peppers. But it's also good with fish. Of course, it's good with fish. There's some marinated shrimp with a little bit of herbs and chili and Meyer lemon zest. My favorite thing, this is what I used it for on my restaurant menus, is my spring fiddlehead and spruce tip salad. But you can use lots of different green vegetables. There you go. Just a quick breakdown of one of my favorite condiments. Well, an approximation of one of my favorite condiments. If you want to buy a jar, they sell those online. Like I said, $35 to $40 for a pint. It's worth it. But if you want to test the waters, the cheaper version you can make at home pretty easily. The full recipe is on my website. There's a link at the top of the video description for that. Thanks for watching.